it's Lolo from K9 Kung Fu. This was supposed to be the beginning of my e-collar mini educator video. It came super late at night and it's not even charged. So, one of the things I want to check, like, I've been hyping my dog up about a parcel all day, so he's pretty excited. But this is one of the things I wanted to show. Alright, now, this is kind of a meta point, is that vibration or not, like, this dog has never seen this collar before. It's similar enough to this one. Right? So there is a strong association here. One of, holy shit. And I know some people will probably be like, this is appeasement. If it was appeasement, why would my dog that has free roam of the house be coming to me? Right? Now, some people would argue that dogs can't consent, so they don't actually know what's good for us. Oh, yeah, you like that, right? So that's what the nuance I'm trying to get across to people, is that these tools can cause discomfort. These tools can be misused. But ideally, if the training is done right, the dog gets more benefit and understands. Because here's the argument about people that don't want to use correction. They don't think that dogs can understand the nuance. Right? He has never seen this collar before in his life. And even his dumbass seems like he prefers that one over this one. But either one is good. I'm joking about that, clearly. Right? Is that there is an association to this collar. And the association is that strong that it can transfer to a collar that is similar enough that he hasn't seen. Clearly, Gohan wouldn't pass the knockoff test. Right, I just wanted to show something here. Which one do you want, Gohan? So, he's allowed to lick his plushies, and obviously this is going on long, so he's going to try new behaviors. What do you think, buddy? Right, okay. Good boy. Alright, so if we want to look, this set, Barack, please leave the torture device. You have to leave the torture device alone. I know, you're so scared that you can't play with your torture device, that people think that if it's used on you, you'll hate it and me. It comes with a finger clicker. I don't typically use clickers. They can be handy. The charge case is nice quality. I know. Hi. Can you get off of me, please? Thank you. Watch it. You don't want to knock stuff over. I'm going to need you to go back up, please. Back up. Control our feelings, okay? Couché. Thank you. Good boy. So, as you can see, the language that I use for dog training is referential. And my dog is allowed to make mistakes and be silly, right? If you try to put in too much control, even if it's not with an e-collar, you will cause and harm the relationship with your dog, right? In the past, I was in that. I was in this world. That's why I call it decolonial, because I realized one day that I was a better dog trainer when I was 8 and 10 years old, when I didn't even know what I was doing, than what I had become due to modern dog training. So this is the actual remote. So this is where I'm interested, because these are kind of big and clunky, and in reference to the Hassan Piker videos. Like, when people said there'd be a button at the desk, that's craziness, but here's what I find interesting, is dog trainers hide the remote a lot when they use it. I will never do that, although I might be holding it, but if you ask me, I'm not going to purposely try to hide the remote if I'm filming something. Like, when I would be working my last dog with this collar's remote, it would be hanging from my neck, and because I use language, he knows ideally if there's a correction coming. And now there is a lot of nuance and a bigger discussion on why I'm being put in positions, and something I'm not going to allow to do, being put in positions where, as a person of color, as a non-white person, the white public in Canada, generally out of anyone ever, puts my dog in positions where I can't really tell them to leave my dog alone. I have to correct my dog for disobeying or getting distracted, but they're going out of their way to fuck with my dog. I don't allow that to happen. I crash out now, because we're not going to play that game. I'm not going to end up actually putting more correction on my dog, because my dog is trying to appease you because you're being inappropriate as a human. And I just, and it sucks, because, like, either way, what I do, that's a whole other rant about how there's like a double bind in the way Canadian, colonial European Canadians approach dogs. It's quite literally only them I have this conflict with. And I know that now because there's like a bunch of immigrants in this country, and we have a different issue with immigrants in the sense that my dog scares the shit out of them because they're not used to bus dogs, as in dogs that ride the bus better than kids do. And on a rant, as there would be times I used to ride on the back of the bus with my dog, but I had to move to the front because I'd get on at the bus terminal and we'd be tucked in the back corner because I'd be wanting to watch everything for my PTSD. And a bunch of people would get on the bus, and a lot of them now would be immigrants from countries where dogs just kick the shit out of you, like stray dogs or even guard dogs. And I would get to, like, the bus would be full, and I'd be going to get off the bus at the end of the line. And I just, like, get my dog to come up, and they didn't even know there was a dog there. And they will, like, I've had people scream. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit at the front of the bus just so I don't startle people. So, yeah. That was a big rant in the middle of this, but we're in 5 minutes, so we're doing good. So I have to charge this. I really just want to get out and do things with my dog, but I know he does, but I'm going to try to do this in a way where I will probably have to film him on it for the first time, but as you can see, he fucking loves it already. Even, like, yeah, if there's a bad association, it would be him running away. It just amazes me how stoked he is on how much people would use that to say, well, he's never been stimmed on it, clearly. Because if he's ever been stimmed on it, he would hate it. And it's like, no, it's a lot more nuanced than that. As I'm trying to demonstrate, and I'm rambly about, because I'm also super tired. I had a POTS episode today as well, but I wanted to get this out because, unfortunately, with disability, you have to kind of work around it as best you can, and I'm very privileged to be in the position that I'm in. Obviously, I have to sacrifice to get this tool, but it's the best tool for him in the circumstances of, like, not, like, way less about service dog work. What any color can do in service dog work is so cool, because, for me, with POTS, I actually can get I'm having difficulty talking now, but I can have difficulty talking. And my POTS and my PTSD combined, so when I'm, like, getting hassled in public, it can be very difficult for me to control my dog, even though he's trained, because my dog's trying to hit me because he's like, yo, your heart rate's freaking out. And to the other person, it looks like my dog is misbehaving. And it's like, no, because you're putting pressure on me. My heart's going. My dog's trying to make sure I know that my heart is fucked up right now. I'm trying to also explain to you that you don't even know what service dog laws are, but I'm also just, like, having a brain melt because I'm so tired of people just, like, judging me immediately. Even when I use the ID program, which is another thing, it's like I'm still getting racially judged for my dog, even though my dog is better trained than guide dogs currently are most of the time, unfortunately, due to bad training. And I'm, like, seeing you not even harass the fucking other person with a clearly misbehaving dog, right? And that leaks out, and that's why in the other videos I'm talking about, like, you can be putting the human in a position where they're actually leaking out and correcting. Still, it's not necessarily harmful, but it is unfair to the dog, but it seems like the right thing to do because the dog is the one that's basically being put in the position where they're able to make a mistake or going to make a mistake because of what a human has done. Like bribing the dog with attention or food, or being inappropriate with the dog, right? Like, you can tell the person to stop, but oftentimes they won't listen, especially when it's white people. White people really do not like to be told how to interact with dogs, especially when they are racist. So here's the thing. When I say white people, I mean white people of the heritage that hold up the systemic values. You can be from European heritage and not be a proponent of white culture in the negative way, right? Because, like, saying white culture is not the same thing as saying black culture. And it's really unfortunate that the English language is doing that. And that's a huge-ass rant. So I understand that when I say white people, it's like, they have to be like, it's not all white people, but there is a systemic Canadian crossfire of culture, or one, if you are being misgrievanced, you are expected to weather the misgrievance with a British type of non-emotionalism. And it's like, dude, if I'm being harassed, like, I'm going on a big rant here, I'm sorry, but if I'm being harassed multiple times a day by people that have no business fucking with me or my animal, this is what I would say to people, is that white people and white culture has been taught to basically freak out over John Wick, which is just a dude that murdered people over a pet dog. I'm getting frustrated and angry at you that you're hurting my relationship. You're putting my dog in a position where I either have to correct it or do a bunch of other stuff because of your inappropriate behavior. And asking my dog of a higher level of obedience that I would not have to ask my dog if you were not being inappropriate. you are saying that I'm irrational because I'm getting upset, but you fucking love John Wick. Like, make it make sense, right? So you can get it where the cleanness allows me to, like, when I'm getting that frustrated when I'm being encountered with someone and my dog's trying to help me calm down, if I just tell my dog no, he's trained to actually fight me when I need help. So the e-collar is actually amazing because at a very low level of stim, like we're trying to basically give the dog such a different sensation that they know what it is, right? And it is mildly aversive, especially if we're using negative punishment. It will always be mildly aversive. But now, again, this is a mildly aversive, but that can be extraordinarily aversive. That my dog has never seen this one before, but it is close enough to the one that he has. I should have filmed it unboxing because people are going to say that I'm a liar. But I'm trying to be as honest as possible, please. Alright? Good. That's why, sorry, that was my fault. I called you back, but you didn't break anything. You got caught on a wire. That's why I told you to leave, but then my dumbass forgot that I told you to leave. Because I'm talking about dogs. Yeah. So, I'm going to charge this up. I will shoot the footage of me introducing it to my dog separately, put it all together, and then I will do the video about it being used on me. And so you'll probably see that one after. So see you when you see my dog. Woo woo! Come on, screen. So sometimes I get... Yo, so I'm just watching that footage back. I thought I called my dog back over. I just picked up the new e-collar and he came over on his own. But I'm like disoriented. Like day's been crazy. I had to go by myself to get electrolytes, and I literally walked to the wrong grocery store and place, like by 8-10 minutes in a completely wrong place because all of my symptoms collide. So when it comes to dissociation, I'm at a higher risk of dissociating dangerously. And I should have brought my dog, but I try not to bring him to grocery stores. I have a right to, but there's a couple of different reasons why I choose as a team to try to do that stuff independently still. But yeah, I didn't call him over. I'm like, my dumb ass just assumed I called him back over because I'm like just riffing right off the top of my head. I did not call him over. That's why it's good to film. It's like, no, he just saw the caller. It's charging in my ghetto ass corner where I've had to do ghetto ass repairs, and it's crazy. I have to keep on telling him to leave it alone. Yeah, so that's the thing. Not all dogs will act like that. Gohan's kind of like a good poster child when, like, please don't assume that every dog is going to have that reaction. It's more so just to demonstrate that with proper conditioning, a dog will be more likely to have that kind of association with it. And trainers actually know how to do that if they are actually properly trained to use this tool. Do, 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 do.